Okay, today's lesson is lesson 12.4, using similar triangles. And this is actually quite easy, and it's really taking everything that I've taught you and applying it into one aspect. So essentially what this means in words is it says that when two angles in one triangle are congruent to two angles in another triangle, then if that's the case, then the third angles of both the triangles are going to be congruent, which makes them similar then because they have equal triangles. So in this example, if this angle right here equals this angle, and this angle right here equals this angle, then you know that these two angles, this one right here and this one right here, have to be equal because every triangle equals 180 degree angle measures. The sum of the triangle angles of a triangle are 180 degrees. So it has to be equal. And we know from the previous lesson that if you have a triangle or triangles that have equal measures, both corresponding angles are equal, then you know that it's similar. So that makes it similar. And then you can use proportions to find out information because they are similar. You can use proportions to find out if they missing measures then. So if you look at this first example, they just go through some things. So looking at these two triangles, do you know that they're congruent? You do, because this one's 50 and this one's 75. This one's 50 and this one's 75. So X and Y have to be the same measure. So they are congruent, okay? So then if you look at the second one, now they're going to ask you, write and solve an equation to find X, okay? So if you have, they did X plus 54 equals 63. So they simplified X plus 117 equals 180. So you're going to subtract 117 from both sides, and that's going to give you an answer of X equaling 63 degrees. Okay, so now you're using algebra to solve. And then the other thing that they do in this section is if the third angles are congruent, then the triangles are similar. So you can then use that algebraic equation. Okay. Okay. So we're going to talk also about indirect measurement here. So indirect measurement, and I'm not going to go through example problems here with you because we've already done this. So it's all a review. Indirect measurement, though, says that you can use similar figures to find a missing measure when it's difficult to find it directly. Like in this example, you plan to cross a river and want to know how far it is to the other side. So you can use similar triangles to figure that out. You can measure your length from the river's edge to a point here, and then you can measure, then you can figure, and it should be about the same length as the other. Then from here to here you can measure. Then what happens is, and they're asking you to explain, but if this angle is 90 degrees and this angle is 90 degrees, we only have two angle measures. So how do we know if the third angle is going to be equivalent? Well, you know that because this angle and this angle are vertical angles, and vertical angles are equivalent. So now you have two measures of angles. So you know that third angle has to be equal, which means they're similar. So now you can take those measurements that you have and you can calculate to find the missing angle measure. So you create a proportion and you line up 60 over X, those two match, those are corresponding sides, 60 and X equals, and then you have 40 and 50. Those are corresponding sides, 40 over 50. And then you can cross multiply and you would get the correct answer, which they did here. So you do 60 times 50, ooh, that's really sloppy, sorry, equals 40x. So that would be 3000 equals 40x. Divide both sides by 40. X equals 48. Okay, so you know that the length then is 48 across the river. So that's kind of how that works. So really you're just taking everything that we've done from the very beginning of this chapter about, you're using similarity, you're using a proportion to solve because we know that they are proportional if they are similar figures, and you're using algebra to find missing angle measures. So this is nothing new, it's just kind of taking everything and putting it all together. So what I would like you to do is I would like you to do numbers. I don't know where my lesson plans are to put it down, but we're just going to say that we're going to do it on the fly. You're going to do 7, and you're going to do 9 and 11. 7, 9, and 11 for tomorrow. Okay? 7, 9, and 11 on page 554 and 555. Okay?